we're back to discuss Dunkirk, and if you saw our review, we all liked it just fine. The editing was kind of, I think it was intentionally disorienting, the way that it jumped around. When it started messing with chronologies, when it really started to bother me. It's like, oh, he's doing something else. Like, why is Cillian Murphy on this other ship now? Oh, this must have happened another time.
Yeah.
And it sort of built up toward where I thought that Tom Hardy was going to end up with Mark Rylance on his ship, but that's not how it ended. He ended up being the only person that we see get captured.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen.
I loved the connection between the way they showed the dependency of the air support to what they were trying to do on the ground and in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, it really made it real. That was one of my favorite parts about it.
Yeah. His no fuel save at the end was amazing.
Yeah.
And then he can't get the landing gear down just for one last what's going to happen to him sort of thing. Out there flying the Bane plane.
Yeah, he's got the mask on.
Yes, brother.
So one thing, I guess it's a mini complaint, but I like all the practical effects, which was cool, but just for the sense of scale, I think they could have had at least a couple of establishing shots with CGI just to show that it was 300,000 people or something.
They did that towards the end. I think that
that
was
little
kind
bit.
of.
I know they're all organized in lines and stuff, but I never did get a shot that made me feel, whoa, it's like a lot of people, you know?
Oh, that's what I thought was kind of intentional, was that he made you focus on these small stories, so it felt really, really claustrophobic. And then when the plane at the very end kind of went across the beach and you saw the scale of what was going on for the first real time, it kind of put it in perspective. The little boat was the one you followed through the whole movie, and then when they finally arrived,
you see
it was the armada of
little
boats.
Well, that's fair, because it keeps it more focused, I guess.
I thought that was really well done.
And once they established, Kenneth Branagh's side, every time they came back to him, he was letting another ship off. So every time that happened, that's another 50,000 people were going on on his thing. And they said, I think he said we got 300,000 and change off.
I was a little thrown by the titles at the very beginning, where it was the mole was a week, and then the planes were an hour and the boats were a day or something like that. But I didn't understand the mole thing at all. I was really struggling with that.
The mole was the French guy.
Oh, that's not what I thought. I thought they were talking about the 3 ways off the island.
Yeah, he referred to the place where the when that ship got sunk right there off the dock. He was like, it can't sink in the mole. So they were calling that area the mole.
Yeah, I guess it's the shallow area.
Maybe that's
the mole.
It was. Yeah, it threw me because the first time I saw it, I thought, oh, some character's a mole.
Well, and I don't know what the time was if that was.
It said a week.
A week to get them all out.
But I understand.
Air was an hour away. The boat was a day away.
Yeah, that's what I got out of that.
That seemed like that's what it was, but it doesn't make any sense.
But the mole doesn't move.
The mole doesn't move.
Or maybe it would take a week to get everyone off or something.
That's what I kind of gathered by the time they got to the third time.
Maybe they had been there a week?
Maybe that's what they're trying to say.
I don't know.
But it was really confusing.
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah.
Did anybody think the final shot was weird?
Yes.
It showed the plane and then started to fade to black, and then all of a sudden
back
it
to
just
his face.
Quickly cut to the boy's face and then faded to black again.
The only thing I could get from that was it was the Spitfires were symbolic, and they were they became a symbol of defiance.
Yeah.
And the war and stuff, and then back to the young soldier's face, the speech or whatever gave him a resolve or something like that. I think he meant it more symbolically, but editing wise, it was weird.
Yeah. It felt strange.
Yeah.
It felt like it needed it either needed to end with the scene with where the music faded out, or the scene after it needed to be another 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was a bit strange.
To say something.
Yeah.
Or finish the speech or something like that.
Yeah.
I kind of took it as, because the music had been droning and the sound had been droning for the entire movie. That was the only moment in the whole movie where you had just enough silence to actually hear yourself think. And I think when you focus in on that last guy, it kind of made me feel like, oh, and the rest of the war still has to be fought. We're not done. We may have chickened out of this shit, but we got to go.
I'd buy that if it were longer and more pronounced.
But that's what I got.
That was my issue with it. Was that if it had come back to him and been quiet, or even if it had gone to the credits and stayed quiet,
Yeah.
that would have been more of a like somber, sobering note. But the way it happened, it was like.
Just
It's ending. Just kidding. No, seriously, it's ending.
Just pull the Sopranos.
That's what it felt like.
10 minutes, 10 minutes of black screen with "Don't Stop Believing."
Don't stop.
That would have been
That would have
awesome.
been the best.
In a
movie
different
ever.
way.
I would have just given Dunkirk the Oscar at that point. This is great.
The guys outside the train are singing, "Don't stop."
Punch you some brewskis.
Yeah. I'm ready for Dunkirk the video game for the air battles, man.
Yeah. It's also good that like they didn't
Pretty awesome.
like this is the kind of movie that you would expect to spend like half an hour getting to know all the characters, and they just don't bother with any of that. They just jump right into
Yeah.
the action.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
from the first frame.
Yeah.
The first scene, it just jumps straight into it.
it's a 106-minute film.
Yeah.
And like this kind of movie would be like 2.5 hours normally.
Yeah, yeah.
But for
You could've-
being 106 minutes, it was punishing on my nerves.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
it
was-
felt
that's what-
like it
well,
lasted forever.
was-
Yeah, there's a
squirming
lot
in
in it. Yeah. I felt like it was longer. I'm surprisingly. Wow.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my god, the torpedo scene where they're sitting there. He's eating that piece of toast, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
filled with water.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
Oh god.
There were just a lot
That
of
was-
little things.
that was
It
all
just
in the
made
trailer.
You feel the danger, like when the guys were jumping off that ship right next to the dock, and you almost got crushed by the ship against the dock. There's just a lot of little things like that just made you constantly go, oh god.
The shots I really liked were when they would set the camera up so that the camera was basically at whatever angle the
Yes.
ship was at,
Like
and
a
then
GoPro kinda deal.
and then the water would just like come up from this
Oh,
really
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
strange direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool when they
Yeah,
would do that.
there was a scene like that was confusing me. I was like, everybody else in the background is moving regular, but the French guy is like struggling to get up these stairs. It was really weird, and then the water all of a sudden started coming from the side, and I'm like, oh, the boat is capsizing. I forgot.
Yeah,
Cool camera angles.
Yeah.
Some really
and
good
that's
ideas.
how disoriented you would be if you were below deck. I think that's why so many people were like refusing to go below, because it was so like you would come
You were
up through the
stuck.
hatch and
Right.
you'd be like under the water.
Yeah.
And you didn't know which direction was out,
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, there was that whole out of the frying pan into the fire type stuff going on
Literally,
when they
yeah.
finally get on a boat, and then it's like, that's not safe either, you know? That was
One
crazy.
guy covered in oil trying to hold his breath so he doesn't have to go up into the fire.
Yeah. Yikes.
But yeah, not sure why I have much more to say about it. It was
I know, right? It's all, you gotta see it, really. It's more of
Yeah.
it's a very visual
It
kind of
was a-
film.
Yeah.
Spectacle, I guess
Yeah.
is the right word for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we saw it in IMAX. I would recommend that. And yeah, you can. There's one theater here in town that's showing it in 35 millimeter. If that's your thing, if you like the film thing, go check that out. But yeah, that's it for us. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. And thanks for watching.